Hello, in this video I will do an ASVAB arithmetic reasoning practice test, and this is practice test exam 3. So let's begin. So remember, this is time, but like I said before in my other videos, I'm going to take my time because I got to explain it really well. Okay. So question 1. It says one internet plan charges $30 monthly fee and 5 cents per gigabyte of data used. Another plan charges $15 monthly fee and 10 cents per gigabyte of data. After how many gigabytes of data used would the charge be the same for both plan? So basically, um, it's a linear, these are two linear equations. So what they're doing is you're going to get two linear equation. You're going to get y equals mx plus b, right? This is a form of linear equation. And what they're going to ask you is, so the other one is also y equals mx plus b. Then what you're going to do is set the equation to each other because they want to know where it's the same. And you're going to find I believe the x value. Okay. So let's label our variables. So our x is, what is our x? My x is gigabytes. Yes, gigabytes. What we want to know, right? And then my y is the cost in dollars. Okay, so we're trying to find x. So what we got to do is find the first equation and the second equation, then set it to each other, and then solve for x. So what would be the first equation? So the first information says one internet charges $30 monthly fee plus 5 cents per gigabytes of data use. So that is going to be, they tell you right out there. The m is like the uncontrolled value. The b is the given value. It's like the starting point, your how much you put down. So it says you put down $30 a monthly fee. So that is my B. And then it's 5 cents per gigabyte. That's really kind of unknown because we don't know how much gigabytes you're going to use. So that's our M. So it's going to be y equals 0.05x. Okay. Now what would be the other equation of this linear equation? So another plan charges $15 per month and 10 cents per gigabyte. So what would be our M? Yes, 10 cents per gigabyte, so it's 10x. And what would be my B? $15 monthly fee, so that's 15. So all you got to do is set the equation to each other. So it's going to be 0.05x plus 30 equals to 0.10x plus 15, right? Okay, then you got to solve for x. So how would I do that? Let's see, what should I move? Maybe move this 0.05x. What is 0.10 minus 0.5? It is 0.05x. And then move this 15 to the left by subtracting 15. What's 30 minus 15? 15 equals to 0.05x. Solve for x by dividing both sides by 0.05. So you get x equals 15 divided by 0.5. So how does that, what is 15? You have how do you divide decimals? So 15 goes inside the box, and then 0.05 goes outside. Now, you can't have a decimal here, so we have to rewrite our problem. So how many total decimal places there is? There's a total of 1, 2. So what that means is you're going to move 15 two places to the right. So now this is going to be 1500, and then align the decimal right here. And then 0.005 will now be transported to 5. Now we can do the algebra. How many times does 5 go into 15? 3. Bring down the 0, and then bring down the extra 0, so that's 300. So D. Okay, so that is D. Sorry, hold on. Did you need to copy that? Yeah, go and copy or pause the video. Let's move on to question two. Lucy buys four notebooks for $1.25 and then three pens for 75 cents. What is their total cost? So this is pretty simple. Total cost is just multiplication and adding. So my total cost is going to be T equals Lucy buys four notebooks for $1.25, so it's 4 times 125 plus three pens, so that's 3 times 0.75. Add them up, you get your total cost. So what is 4 times 1.25? So it'd be 1.25 times it by 4. What's 5 times 4? 20. Carry the 2. What's 4 times 2 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. What's 4 times 1 is 4. Plus 1, that's 5. Count how many decimal places there is. 1, 2. So there's 2. So that's 1, 2. Move it 2 places up. It's going to be $5. And then what's 3 times 0.75? So without a calculator, because you can't use a calculator. So remember, and when you're multiplying decimals, always put the most amount of sig figs on the top. So this one has 3. This one only has 1. So that's why I put this on the top. So 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. Carry the 2. 0 times 3 is 0. Plus 2, that's 2. Placeholder. And then, oh, no, 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 no placeholder because we're done. And then just add them up. So it's actually 225. And then count how many decimal places. So 1, 2. It's 1, 2. So that's going to be 2.25. Okay, so your total is going to be $5 and $2.25. There's 5, 2, and then this is 7. Okay, so it's letter C. Yep, that wasn't too bad, right? Okay, question 3. The length of a rectangle, it's twice its width. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 60, what is the area? So yeah, we can draw an image. So here you have a rectangle. They're saying that the length, here's your length, and here's your width, right? The length of a rectangle is twice its width, so that's 2W. And we don't know what our width is, we'll just call it W. If the perimeter of the rectangle is 60, what is the area? So what do we know about perimeters? Perimeter of a rectangle or even a square is 2L plus 2W. And then they say that specifically the perimeter is 60, so you're going to replace this P with 60. And we need to figure out, to find the actual length, we need to figure out our W. So it's 2 times L, so it's 2 times, let's just replace L with 2W plus 2W, right? So what's 2 times 2W? 4W plus 2W plus 60. What's 4W plus 2W? 6W. Solve for W, so you're going to divide both sides by 6. 60 divided by 6 is 10. Okay, so now we could find our length, our actual length. So we need to find the actual length. So the length is 2 times W, so 2 times 10, which is 20. And my W is just 10. So what is the area of a rectangle? It's length times width. So my length is 20. My width is 10. So that's 200. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely C. Question four, a factory can assemble 5,000 gadgets in 2 hours. How many gadgets can it assemble in 1 day? So this one is just a simple proportion problem. So far we have only done word problems relating to proportion, and then we also did some problems. The one we just did is linear equation. I think it was like the first one we did, the first test. I mean, not the first problem. So I know this is a proportion. So how do we set up a proportion? We set it up like this. Let's see. You can do however your units. You could put what do we have? We have gadgets. You could put gadgets on the top and then hours on the bottom. That means that this has to be gadgets, and then this also has to be hours, correct? So a factory machine can assemble 5,000 gadgets, so 5,000 in 2 hours. How many gadgets can assemble in 1 day? So our gadget is our unknown in 1 day, but the thing is, we have to be in hours. So how many hours are there in a day? So in 1 day, there's exactly 24 hours, right? Okay, so go ahead and cross multiply. So 2 times x is 2x. And then this is going to be 5,000 divided by 24. So 5,000 times 24 is, do the math. So, you could do this. What you could do is, you could do 24 times 5, just 20, 10, 12. Then all you got to do is add these three zeros. Wait, did I add three? Yeah. So it's going to be, how many zeros? One, two, four zeros. Okay, solve for x, so you're going to divide this by 2, and you get 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, letter B. Question four. Okay, question four says Sarah walked 30 meters east, 20 meters west, and 50 meters north. Emily walked 25 meters east, 15 meters west, and 10 meters north. How much further did Sarah walk than Emily? So when I hear the word further, I automatically know it's um subtraction. So what is the total for Sarah? You don't have to draw a count this, you just add them up. So it's 30 plus 20 plus 15, and that is going to be 65, right? And then what would be for a total for Emily? It was 25 plus 15 plus 10. So that's 50. So you just subtract from Sarah to Emily, right? So 65 minus 50, which is 15 miles. So C. Okay. Next one. Alicia runs 5.5 miles. Bella runs 3.5 times further. How much further did Bella run than Alicia? So You know it's a subtraction, right? How much further, whenever you hear the word further, it usually means subtraction. So Alicia, let's see how much did she run? Alicia ran 55.5. So that's like the same thing as 5.5 miles. Bella runs 3.5 times further. So it's like 3.5 times Alicia, right? So that's the same thing as 3.5 times 5.5. And when you do the algebra, it's 19.25, right? Right? 5.5 times 3.5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2. 5, 6, 27. Placeholder. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Plus 1 is 16. 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry the 1. 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8, 9. 1. Total of 2 decimal place, so 19.25. Okay, then all we got to do is do simple subtraction. So how much further did Bella? So Bella ran 19.25 minus 5.5, right? That's going to be 19.25 minus 5.50. It's going to be 5. This is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 7. 8 minus 5 is 6 and 3. 3.75. So, oh no, 13. So it's obviously C, but if you want to go, I know we have it in a fraction. 3/4 is technically the same thing as 75, because if you put 3, 4, right, put a little placeholder here, bring down the 0. How many times does 4 go into 20? 36, 7, 28, bring down the 0, 5. So yeah, that's why it's C. Okay. This morning, Alex walks 2 miles to school and then returned home. In the afternoon, he walked 1.5 miles to a friend's house and returned home. How much further did Alex walk in the morning? So when I hear the word further, I automatically know it's subtraction. So, um, yeah, you can kind of draw an image. I mean, not an image, but so from his home to what is it? School. It was a total distance of 2 miles. But then he said he returned home, so that's also another 2 miles. So the total the total from house to school, from school to house, it's gonna be 4 miles, right? Do the same thing. Okay, so now the other one is house to friend's house. From house to friend's house, it was a total of 1.5 miles. And then he went back home, so that's an additional 1.5. So the total of that would be 3 miles, right? Because 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3 miles. So all you got to do is do the subtraction. So 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay. So, okay, next one says, what does that say? So we have like, yeah, we have these these columns. We have color shoes, percentage. It says Sophia took detailed notes of the color shoes that students in her school were wearing. She counted for a total of 350 students. How many students were wearing either yellow or black shoes? Now, when you hear the word or, you probably think, isn't that a st probability? Kind of. So what you have to do is what I would do is so we have to, what I would do is find your percentage. So they're saying that how many students were either wearing yellow or black. So in the yellow, it was 10%, right? And then for the black, it was 40%. So our total is 10% plus 40%, which is 50%. So you can write 50% as a decimal, so that would be 0.50. So, and then all you got to do is multiply 0.50 by 350. That's it. So what is 350 times 0.50? Uh, couldn't, okay, so what I could do is I can, if you don't want to do that, what you could do is do 350 times it by 5. So that's 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 15, 16, 17. And then what you're going to do is, I think you just count the total decimal place. 1, 2. Yeah, you just move it 2 places left. 1, 2. Wait, hold on. Oh, I remember. No, I guess you can't do it. I mean, I think, yeah, that would work, but I think you have to add an extra 0 on the right and then move it 2 places left. So it's 1, 2. So that's that's how I got 175. If that confuses you, you can just do it the long way, right? You could just do 350 times by 0.50, right? The more sig figs goes on the top, the less sig figs. The 0.50 has only 2 sig figs, so it goes on the bottom. So 0 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, placeholder, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 5 times 3 is 15 plus 2, that's 17. So it's 17500. Count how many total decimal places, 1, 2. That's how I got 175. Okay, move on. Question 9. The scale on a map shows 600 feet for every 1/4 of an inch. If two cities are 8 inches apart from the map, what is the actual distance? So this one is a proportion problem, right? So far we only went from proportion and linear equation. So this is definitely proportion. So how you would set it up is you can set it up any way you like. We have the units of feet and then a units of inch. So you could put feet on top and inch on the bottom. Same thing here, feet on the top and inch on the bottom. So on the scale map, it shows 600 feet, so 600 for every 1/4 of an inch. If two cities are 8 inches, so you put 8 in here, and then our actual distance is our unknown, so that's our x. Okay, go ahead and cross multiply. So what's 1/4 times x? 1/4 x. What's 600 times 8? So this is maybe 1/4 x. And then what's 600 times 8? Well, I know that 8 times 6 is 48. And then carry the 2 zeros. And then go ahead and solve for x. So you're going to multiply both sides by 4. What's 48 times 4,800 times 4? 0, 0, 8 times 4 is 32, 3, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so it's 19,200 feet. Hey, we might finish on time, so maybe. Okay, question 10. If you bought five notebooks at 250 using a $20 bill, how much would the change be? Now, this one's pretty self-forward, right? You have $20 bills minus five notebooks, so five times 250 will give us your change. So first, what's five times 250? So 250 on the top and five on the top, right? 250 has three sig figs, and five is only one. Multiply this out. 0 times 5 is 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 2, that's 12. And then there's two decimal places, so it's 1, 2. So it's really minus 1250, right? So what's 20 minus 1250? So 20, 0, 0 minus 1250. So if you recall, when you add or subtract fraction, add or subtract fraction, you do need to line up the decimal. So 20 has an invisible two decimals, so this would be 0. This would be 5. This will be 9 minus 2 is 7. And then this would be, uh, I think you borrowed, right? So that would be, no, not borrowed. That mean would be still 1, so 1750. No, no, no. No, you do borrow, sorry. Okay, that's easy to make a mistake. So this 2 becomes a 1 because you borrowed from 9. So that's 750. Yep. Okay. 11. A 12-foot rope is cut into equal segments measuring 6 inches each. What is the total number of segments? So, yeah, if you want to draw the image here is like a 12-foot rope. We gotta slice it in 6 inches, right? So the first thing I would do is we have two different units. We have feet and units. I mean, feet and inches. So the first thing I would do is convert feet into inches. So 12 feet, and then this is 1 feet, and then inches. So we know that 1 feet, there's exactly 12 inches, and then 12 times 12 is 144 inches. Okay. And then all we're going to do is do 144 divided by 6. How many times does 6 go into 14? Twice. 14 minus 12 is 2. How many times does 6 go into 4? 4. So it would be exactly 24 pieces. Okay. 12, it says a cylinder has a height of 10 inches and a volume of 100 pi cubic inches. If the height of if its height is doubled and its radius is halved, what would be the new volume? What would be the volume of the resulting cylinder? So this one was a little bit kind of tricky. Well, not kind, well, a little. So pretend you have this cylinder, right? You know what a cylinder looks like? It looks something like this. And this height is 10 inches. Uh, do we know the radius? Not quite. But we could find it because they give us a volume. So what is the volume of a cylinder? It is this pi r squared times h. So if you need to put this in your notes, go ahead. The volume of a cylinder is pi times r squared times h. In they tell us it's exactly 1000 pi, so you can re replace this with 1000 pi. We don't know what r is, but we do know our height, which is 10. Okay, so let's, yeah, this would be, so what I would do is get rid of the pi by dividing both sides by pi, right? And then you have 10 r squared, and this is 1000. Solve for r, so you're going to divide both sides by 10. Get rid of the zero, so you're left with 100 r squared. Solve for r by taking the square root. So r is the square root of 100, which is 10. Okay. Now what we're going to do is find the new volume. So the new volume says if its height is doubled, so what was our original height? Wait, so it's going to be pi r squared times h. If the height was doubled, so our original height was 10, so the new height would be, what's doubled of 10? 20. And the radius is half. So what was our old radius? It was 10. So the new radius is half of 10, which is 5. Okay. Put it all together, you get 5 squared is 25 times 20 times by pi. And what's 25 times 10? I mean, 25 times 20. 0, 0, 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1, that's 500. Yeah, 500. So it would be C. So your new volume, yeah, it's just 500, and then you solve the pi. Okay, 13. Okay, 13 says the sum of 1 foot, 9 inches, 3 feet, and 5 inches, and 2 feet and 8 inches is. So what I would do is, don't freak out, just convert everything into inches. So 1 foot, 1 foot in inches, well, we know that 1 foot is in 12 inches. So 12 times 1 is, this would be 12 inches plus 9 inches, right? Because this is 9 inches. That would be, what would that be? 9 plus 2 is 12, 10, 11, carry the 1, 21 inches. Yeah, 21 inches. Okay, and the next one, 3 feet and 5 inches. So let's convert that 3 feet into inches. So we know that 1 feet, there's 12 inches. So what's 3 times 12? 36 plus 5. 36 plus 5 is 7, 8, 9, 10. 41 inches. And then the next one is 2 feet. We know that 1 feet is 12 inches. So this would be 12 times 2 is 24 plus 8. So that would be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 32 inches. So the total amount would be 21 plus 41 plus 32, which is 94 inches. But then what we got to do is convert it to feet. So we have to divide this by 12 because if you look at the answers, it's in feet and inches. So let's convert 12 inches into feet. So we just divide this by 12. And what is that going to give you? So you do your box thing, 94 and 12 goes into 7, and then you get 84. And then your leftovers is your inches. So 94 minus 84 is 10. So you have 7 feet and 10 inches. There you go. Letter A. Okay, this one, 14. Paint costs 225 per square foot. Brushes cost 850 each. You will need 3 brushes. How much will it cost to paint a room that is 12 feet by 5 feet and one door by 3 feet by 7 feet? So this one's a little bit not hard, but it's just a lot of kind of a work. So the good news, everything is in feet, so we don't have to do conversion. But first, let's find the how much is the area of the room. So it says, how much is the room? The room is 12 feet by 15 feet. So what's 12 times 15? Uh, 180. So 12 by 15 is 180, and then this is going to be feet squared because that's an area, right? And then what about this door? The door is 7 by 3, so that would be 21 feet square. Then what I would do next is add the total area. So it's 180 plus 21. 8 plus 2 is 10, 11. Carry the 1, that's 2. 211 feet. And then all we got to do is multiply 211 by the square feet. So did I do this right? I'm double checking my work. Wait, 180 plus 21 is, oh no, I did it wrong. 180 plus 21, 8 plus 2 is 9, 10. Carry the 1, that's 201. So it's actually 201 feet square. And then it says it's 225 per square feet. So you just have to multiply 201 by 2.25. They both have 3 sig figs, so it doesn't matter what you put on top. And when you do that, you should get 452.25. Okay. Then what you got to do is we also have to kind of bring in the brushes. So it's cost 850 each, and you need 3. So it's 850 times by 3. And you get 0. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry the 1. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 1, 25. 2 places. 1, 2. That's 25.50. Then you just to find the total cost, you just add them up, right? 452.25 plus 2550. And your total cost should be 4777.75. Keep in mind, remember when you add or subtract fractions, you need to line up the decimals. It doesn't matter how much sig figs, just line up the decimal. So I get C. Not too bad. Oh, look, we do have time now. Last one. Uh, Emily earns 10% commission on all sales over 3,000. Last month, her total sales were 8,500. What was her earnings? So let's figure out how much did she went overboard. Her sales was 8,500, and then subtract 3,000. Wait, so what is that going to be? 8,500 minus 3,000. 8 minus 3 is 5, so 5,500. And then what we got to do is just multiply that by the 10, so basically 10% of 5,500. Okay, so all you're going to do is convert 10% as a decimal as 0.10550. So 5500 times it by 0.110 is going to be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 5, 5. And then two decimal places to the right. Two decimals, so two. So it's going to be five. There we go, 550. Letter A. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So I guess I can check it. I did this one already, so it should be 100%. Let's double check. Yep, 100. So yeah, if you need to watch this video again, go ahead and replay. I'm going to stop here.